Nothing where the city accepted that road, it's a county road. So the position is, it's a county road and we're not gonna pay for it. I mean, that's basically, it boils down to, if it's a county road, we have no obligation to do any work on the road at all, unless by consent.
Okay. Because we've had some hazards, some serious hazards on Orange Road, and fortunately, the guys that work for the city for us have been nice enough to, you know, correct them or whatever. But when I contacted the county, that's when I was told that the county, that they never owned the road, and I know.
Right, so a lot of the roads were dedicated to the county before the city ever was incorporated. So when the city was incorporated in 1969,
49 years ago.
they were county roads. So if the status didn't change since then, they're county roads.
Status didn't change because they
You understand
were-
what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
kind of how we kind of
Because they were
track it
responsible
down.
for fixing the roads as well as cutting, maintaining
The right of way,
Yes.
for whatever the right of way is.
Councilman Rowland.
Yes.
Is that, I mean, but we have citizens who live on county roads in the city of Prairie.
Mhm.
And not that we have to take these roads over. The whole point of the interlocal agreement was that we are saying, we have a plan that says these streets are in our plan. If this county road that happens to be in the city of Prairie View needs to be resurfaced or whatever, that means the interlocal agreement would say that there's a cost sharing piece.
Mhm.
And so we've had this interlocal agreement for a very long time that did not designate Owens Road or majority of the county roads in the city of Prairie View as city roads. That was what the interlocal agreement was supposed to be for. When Councilwoman Williams just talked about that process, and so the interlocal agreement that we haven't signed was supposed to set forth the process on how we're gonna handle this, and we haven't signed it. So would we be asking the county to repair or do the things that they need to do because they're saying that, because we don't have the interlocal agreement signed? Or is this something that we need to sign it first and then, well, negotiate what we're gonna sign and what our roads are?
Right, so what I had seen previously that was an internal county document was a list of roads that they intended to prepare. It's sort of like a capital improvements plan, but that's something that they generated and the city did not have input on. And so then as they are implementing their plan, they're telling the city, okay, now we're gonna do Owens Road, so you need to pay us 25% of this project cost. And so what I'm saying is they have all the control and the city has little control about which roads are. So it's a policy decision for the city council whether or not you would like to strategically approach which roads are your priorities that are county roads that you will actually commit city funds to. Or keep it more broad to where they get to pick the roads and then you respond to what they pick. But it is a partnership, so, you know, you have to consent to it, you have to approve it. They can't ram it down your throats to pay for roads that are county roads.
And just to update my response to Councilman Rowland's question about what's been taking place, there's probably 15 or 16 streets that I submitted to all of the county commissioners, including our own, and the county judge and the county engineer, requesting that they do some work and let me know what the cost would be from an interlocal agreement standpoint. I received zero response to any of it. Some of it was submitted, and I'll have to get the council, because when they announced that this was going to be a cost-sharing situation, that they were phasing it out, at least a dozen of those streets were submitted prior to this document even going into effect. So I want to know where we stand with that, because they were to do 100% of that, and we, you know, before this 25% kicked in. So in response to your question, there was several requests for work done in the city with specific street names to the county, and they responded to none of them, including our own commissioner. Anything else on item 19? Since council has advised us that we can't act on it, we'll allow her to go forward, take a look at the document that she just received today, and get back with us, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we move this agenda item 19 to our September 10th, 2018 meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved that item 19, discuss, consider, and take action on the interlocal agreements with Waller County, be moved to City Council September 10, 2018 meeting. You've heard the motion, ready for the questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. What do we have for next meeting? I think that's where we wrap up.
I don't think I think we started, we never finished the travel policy.
Travel policy, okay. Next,
We're on the business? Yeah.
the next meeting.
Can we discuss, or, I want to move that we post the item of discuss the Bureau Veritas contract on the next agenda.
You make a motion, is that a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, that's been properly moved and seconded that the Bureau Veritas contract be placed on the next agenda. You've heard the motion, ready for the question?
Question.
All those in favor? Ayes have it. Next.
I move that we discuss, consider, and take action on Brian Rowland being appointed to the Emergency Management Committee as well as HGAC rep.
Second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded that you discuss Councilman Brian Rowland being appointed to the Emergency Management Committee and HGAC rep.
Discuss, consider, and take action.
Okay. Heard the motion, ready for the questions?
Question.
Counselor, just so I'm clear, and I'll need some assistance with you in how to phrase this, because council certainly has the right to discuss whatever they want, but if I don't make the appointment's not made. I mean, they can't approve it if I don't make it,
If you don't recommend it.
if I don't recommend it. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay.
I'd like to discuss, where we're in the process of hiring the city engineer. And then I guess we need, I don't know what the discussion's been about the attorney. So I think we need to have the discussion about, replacing city attorney on this.
Yeah, it's being posted, but put it on.
I guess my question is, shouldn't they, since we don't have a city attorney, is that not a conversation for executive session? I mean, I know you're here.
How to proceed?
Well,
or-
how to proceed, we have several things that the city attorney was managing, and 3 different sections that is no longer, and so those things could,
Yes, you could discuss the city attorney requirements as a personnel matter.
so,
But we're not posted, can we discuss it?
Yeah.
Not
We can't
today.
discuss it
You have to post an executive session for the exception for a personnel matter.
We should probably have an emergency meeting.
The posting, the request for proposals, I think the thought was that, because we had one last year, that you just need to change the dates on when, what you want to respond to. And then discuss a schedule for when you want to consider the applications and when you want to interview and sort of the process that you want to go through. So that could still go on while you have this more detailed conversation about what you're looking for.
Yes.
I'm hoping the word is right. I feel like there's some new information on the Panther Hills that needs to be discussed amongst the council that I just received today. I don't know if I should put that, or if it could be liable under an emergency or.
Yes, that was one that I was asked in another context, but you need to post it within 72 hours. And I would recommend that you post it and frame it in a way that you're asking about the permit and the inspections for the property. That's what you're discussing,
This is what I
because that's what the city has authority over.
This is what I submitted to Ms. Dickey for the other agenda that it didn't make it on, or we didn't have the meeting, but it is discuss, consider, and take action on occupancy, inspection, building permit, and any other related issues on Panther Hill apartment complex.
But any other related is probably too broad.
We
But
got the main four thing,
yeah.
occupancy, inspection, building permit, and any other related issues on Panther Hill apartment complex. This was something that was posted already, we just didn't have the meeting, but,
Yeah, that's how you need to phrase it, because issues about the owner and the owner's activities and all of that, you know, is not really appropriate for council discussion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Rowland.
I move that we discuss, consider, and take action on occupancy, inspections, building permits, and any other related issues on the Panther Hill apartment complex.
Second.
Occupancy.
Inspection, occupancy, inspection, building permits, and any other related issues on Panther Hill apartment. That's within our purview.
But I would recommend that you ask for a report on it.
And that we have a report on those three items: occupancy, inspection, and building permits.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that there be an agenda item on Panther Hill Apartments, occupancy inspections and building permits, and any other related issues.
No, so it's like this, it's number 2 on the agenda, the meeting that we didn't have. Discuss, consider, and take action on occupancy, inspections, building permits, and any other related, and any other related issues on Panther Hill apartment complex with a report on those said areas.
Okay, you've heard the motion, ready for the questions?
Question.
Raising.
Go ahead, Councilman Jones.
If you would,
Okay, I know that if this motion goes through, that we'll put it on the next agenda, which is on September 10th. But I'm telling y'all the information, especially considering that a lot of times when we put it on the agenda, it may not even make it, so it probably won't even be September 10th. That there's some information, or whatever the next regular meeting is, there's some information that I feel like we need to take an urgent look at and discuss as quickly as possible.
This is just for the next agenda. We could also make a motion to move it up with a date.
You would make a motion for a special call meeting on a certain date to consider that agenda item.
may I make a amendment to your motion? Making it a special meeting within 72 hours, which will make it the earliest that we can have it be Friday. I know Friday morning doesn't work for you, right? Does Saturday morning work for you guys?
What is that, the 18th?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what time?
Whatever time works for you.
midday on Saturday.
Like 12, 1,
Two-ish, one-ish.
2, cool, 2, cool.
On the 18th?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have something later on that evening at like 5 o'clock.
Same time.
Well, if it's that urgent, I mean, I'll be getting random that kind, but, I mean, today's Monday, so there's no other available day Tuesday, there's like after 5, or at 5
It has
o'clock.
to be 72 hours.
Yes, sir.
Right,
So Friday's the earliest for 72 hours, right?
so,
Before 10 o'clock at night, yeah.
No, I'm not, I don't even know what we're doing with that.
Can I make a quick suggestion, just asking?
Hold on, we got a motion on the floor. Did you set a date?
September 18th at 2 o'clock. That's good. I mean, oh, I'm so sorry. August 18th at 2 o'clock. Oh, August 18th at 2 o'clock.
Is that for the amendment? Okay. Does the amendment need a second?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we got a second. It's been properly moved and seconded, and, well, we're just adding the August 18, 2 p.m. date to Councilman Rowland's motion. You've heard the motion, you ready for the discussion?
It's supposed to be a special call meeting, September 18th at 2 o'clock with said discussion items. Is that what because I don't know if our motion is for a special call meeting, correct? Okay.
For the wording that you.
For the wording that I,
That you already did.
And you meant August, right?
August 18th.
Ron, where does that? Would it be possible for us to get access to this information prior to the meeting so we can walk in and understand?
Yeah.
You will make,
You can
You know,
forward it to
the
city
council member
secretary.
could prepare, it probably would be best if the council member, you send it to me, and I can distribute it confidentially to council for discussion.
Yes.
so for the special call meeting, there's not gonna be any particular person, it's just gonna be us.
Oh, speaking of that, Christopher Haver, Bureau Veritas building inspector, said he's willing to come to any special meeting, such time as be there.
What, could we also have, Chief, Bordeaux?
sir,
Would you mind coming to that?
what day would that be?
August 18th, 2
You
p.m.
might,
Friday.
I think you have the third.
No, it's Saturday.
Okay,
So-
I have another question. Can we, I guess what I'm gonna ask is, we're setting this meeting in hopes that this person will show up, or do we know for sure?
Christopher Haver told me he was so special.
And he's for Bureau Veritas?
My unreadiness in my motion, I asked for a report about occupancy, the inspections, and building permit. The people who are gonna come in to talk to us, we should be getting a report from the people who Bureau Veritas, which does, whoever we saying doing our inspections, whoever we're saying certifies occupancy, whoever we're saying doing building permits. So again, we can invite everybody, but we should have some documented information, specifically the information that has already been, if it's already up, there's some documentation that is already there. And so we're saying, since we haven't seen it, we would definitely love a report.
Right, so because of the short notice, your expectation for a written report to be prepared and for the individuals to appear on Saturday, is a lot to ask. So, it's sort of like, hopefully, the file, the permit file, which we want to rely on facts and verifiable information. And so I can speak to Chief about, if he has something that he could provide in advance that's already in record form that could help you in terms of the chronology and the status of the property. The Bureau Veritas person is a contract vendor, and so appearing at a meeting is not part of his contract, okay? So there may be expense, and they also come from all over the place, these Veritas, I don't know where he lives, but you may have to actually, in order for him to actually be able to come, you might have to pay, okay?
He's coming for Houston, he came before, he said he was gonna come. My thing is that we're not asking for a special chart to be done or anything that requires. We're asking for things that we should have in our possession. That if things are already where they're supposed to be at this moment, I should be able to get a file and say, hey, let's have our discussion. And so.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, at the minimum, you should be able to get the file for the project where it is right now. But in terms of being able to put the information into context, and I don't know the information that wants to be shared, but whatever the allegations are, you need to have someone put them into context for how they fit into what happened and how it happened. So that's why I'm saying, I don't know, given the short notice, if you're gonna get all of those things by Saturday.
I'll call for a question.
All those in favor say aye. Ayes have it.
Yeah, two of them. Can we, I move that we, discuss, consider, and take action, to hear information on the K-9 unit for the Prairie Police Department.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we have an agenda item to get an update on the K-9 unit.
No, discuss, consider, and take action.
Discuss, consider, and take action on the K-9 unit.
For the K-9 unit for the city of Prairie.
Take action.
My second.
Yes, then all in favor say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
I also want to put on the agenda to update our ordinance, section 1.514, and that is what we discussed, talking of the difference between what our city charter says in reference to how many need to call a meeting versus how many need to be there to approve it.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that city ordinance 1.514 be updated as to how many needs to call a meeting and how many needs to approve.
Well, the whole section.
Update from 1.514. All in favor say aye. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
I have another.
You said two.
I wrote it down. So. We need to verify. We need to discuss, consider, and take action on and verifying the expense report policy for the city of Prairie, or the expenditure report policy for the city of Prairie.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that council will discuss, consider, and take action on discussing the expenditure report policy for the city. Further motion, ready for the question?
Question.
All in favor? Opposed, anything else? Anything else? Meeting adjourned.
I move for the adjournment of the meeting.
There's nothing else for the adjournment.
I will.